Welcome everyone to the free webinar of Facing the Giants, 5 Steps to Overcoming Anxiety, Depression, Bipolar, or PTSD. Make sure you have no other distractions. Check your sound. It looks like our sound's going well over here. And on we go. Before we get going further, let's make sure you're in the right place. Who is this webinar for? If you suffer from anxiety, depression, bipolar, PTSD, or stress overload, this is for you. If you believe you can use knowledge and effort to create breakthroughs, this is definitely for you. In the next 40 minutes, you will learn the top 5 mistakes those battling mental illness make, how to use coping skills to manage your mental health, and how to go from depression to looking forward to your day. You will learn how to use the Olympic winning formula of E plus R equals O, how to take control and manage medications along with behavior therapy, and how to go from poor or no relationships to relationships that heal and strengthen you. By the time we're done, you will have a 5-step strategy for overcoming your mental health issues. You will have solutions to take command of your physical health, to develop positive relationships, and be ready to invest in your mental wellness. There's nothing for sale, but I do have a very cool gift for you. Stick with me till the end and I will give you a free stress and well-being survey. This is often used by clinicians to determine the state of your heart, mind, and emotions. It predicts your stress management, your adaptability, your resiliency, and emotional vitality levels. The Stress and Well-Being Survey has a clinical value of $198. How cool is that? Okay, before we go further, I want to say welcome. I can see people logging in from Scotland, from United Kingdom, America, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. Thank you. And if we've missed your country, I apologize. We're going to move on. But I want you to know you are about to change your life. But on we go. Does any of this sound like you? Do you have some days you feel like staying in bed because you're overwhelmed with all you have to do? Do you have trouble falling asleep because you can't turn off your mind? Do your relationships suffer because of your moodiness and fly off the handle behavior? Are you often tired or sluggish or even the party pooper? Are you often stressed out of your mind and cannot focus on tasks? Have you read books, blogs, Facebook posts, articles, anything about your mental illness to only find temporary relief, if any relief at all? And do you secretly know you have the power to manage your anxiety, depression, bipolar, PTSD, but lack the knowledge, confidence, or energy? Have you lost a job, a relationship, or even your self-confidence due to your poor mental health? And do you feel like a yo-yo of emotions with some high highs, but followed by some low lows? And finally, are you scared you will have to wake up every day dealing with these same issues for the rest of your life? I've got some good news for you. What you think is the real problem isn't the real problem. The problem is you don't know the 5 shifts. Once you make the shift, you will have complete control over how you deal with or manage your day. You will increase a positive space where people are attracted to your energy. You will look forward to waking up and taking on your day. You will sleep better, feel better, and have more energy. You will become the authority on your happiness and mental health. You will be open to new experiences and friendships and opportunities. You will go from putting yourself last to willingness of investing in you. And you'll do all this while tapping into your higher self and creating joy, peace, and positive relationships. One thing you need to know, the 5 simple shifts you need to create and make joy and peace and positive relationships, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to make those shifts today. Cool? Okay, who am I? My name is Michelle Porcelli. I am a certified counselor and I have undergraduate degrees in health, sociology, and I also have a teaching certificate. I also have a master's degree in counseling. Yes, I am so totally overeducated, but I have loved my experiences. I've been a young mother's director and a high school counselor, and I have presented all over my coping skills, my 5 shifts. I've created an amazing program, and I've had the opportunity to go to colleges and businesses, churches, and even private events. I've been the director of Be the Change, and I'm currently the leader of Miracle Makers. We are a service and humanitarian group that goes around, and our goal right now is to get to Peru to take some hygiene kits. So my specialty is helping others discover the gifts they already have to manage the brain games of mental illness. I've created the 5 mental wellness shifts and an amazing 6 key coping skills chart, along with a step-by-step process to promote happiness, faith, and peace to gain control over our lives. I really do believe that you can combine knowledge, coaching, effort, and persistence to create a prosperous and fulfilling life, a life full of positive relationships, accountability, acceptance, love, and prosperity. How did I discover the 5 shifts? Well, I was invited to do some presentations for Brigham Young University that is in Utah inside the United States. And I had about 8 presentations to do, and a few of those presentations were my coping skills. And each of the presentations, I looked in my room that seated about, 100 people. It was packed every time. In fact, one presentation, I had one girl upset with me because there wasn't enough room for everyone who wanted to come in. So we pulled in piano benches. We had people sitting on the floor. I even had a little storage cart I had some people sitting on. And it was then that I realized there was such a need, such a cry from the universe to help people, whether it was anxiety, depression, whatever it is they were going through. And the feedback I got from those students was amazing. And that's when I said, I'm not going to keep this a secret. And I really believe these 5 shifts, if you will do these 5 things, you will create a space of peace, control, and happiness. There are 5 key shifts you must make to take your mental health to a place of joy, peace, and mental prosperity. This allows you to enjoy freedom and break the chains of anxiety, depression, or bipolar disorders. I'm going to walk you through all 5 of them in this session. Are you guys ready? Okay, here we go. The first shift, operate with total integrity. Now, let me explain what this means. So be honest with yourself. How does the way you manage your mental health affect your relationships, your job or lack of? How does it affect your friendships, your spirit or core self, your spirituality or lack of? How is it affecting the feeling in your home? How is it affecting your children? Life can be miserable, not just for you, but for everyone around you if you don't take care of your mental health. You guys know that one's true. Did you know that? This is a chart for the U.S., and I know not everyone's from there. But in 2014, nearly 16 million adults had at least one major depressive episode in the last year. This is nearly 7% of the population. That means if you're at Walmart, that is a store that we have here in the United States, and you're going around, there's 100 people in the store, 7 of them have had a major episode in the last year. That's just an astonishing number to me, way too high. Now, if we look at anxiety, over the last 12 months, almost 1 in 5 of the U.S. adult population has experienced some anxiety. Now, this may surprise you, but that is astonishing to me. That's actually probably pretty normal. I thought it would be higher because anxiety really is part of life. We get excited over Christmas, or maybe we're nervous to perform or have a test or something coming up. But that's not really what we're talking about here. If you look where it says severe, it's saying 22% of the 18, so about 1 in 25 adults are classified as severe. Now that one is astonishing to me. And then if you look over here where it says average age of onset, 11 years old. They're still in elementary school. I have a daughter who is 11, and she came and saw me preparing this presentation for you guys. She's like, Mom, I think I have anxiety too. And I told my sweet little Taylor, I said, everyone's going to have anxiety at some point. I said, but we have the 5 shifts. You've got a mom who's got your back and some key coping skills that we're going to do our best to manage this and make life the best journey that we can. And that's what I hope you guys will find today too. Antidepressant use is up by 400% compared to just 20 years ago. If you're a sufferer, all aspects of your life can be negatively affected. You may suffer from failed relationships or a dependency on drugs or even dependent on another person. You might not get enough sleep, or maybe you sleep too much. Maybe you suffer from IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, or other digestive disorders. There is such a strong mind-body connection that things that go on in your mind really can affect the way you feel physically, and vice versa. The way you feel physically can really affect your mental health. That's the cycle. However, when you get this right, you will face your mental health with hope, faith, excitement, and accountability. You're going to be excited to test this formula out on your life. Meet Beth. Beth is a former client of ours, and we watched her journey over this last year making the first shift, operate with total integrity. I do have permission to share her story with you, and Beth has attempted suicide multiple times. And so many times that we got to the point that says, Beth, what we're doing is not working. We need to change something. And so we started incorporating the 5 shifts into her life. And one time she came to our office, and she normally would ask us to excuse her from work or something, at least advise her boss or whatever that maybe she couldn't work that day because her anxiety was so bad. But this one time I just said to her, I said, Beth, do you think you can go to work tomorrow? And she paused for a minute with a puzzled look and looked at me, and she said, yeah, I can go to work tomorrow. I can do that. And I really was astonished because normally she chose out, made a lot of excuses, and she really did have good excuses. But she chose to say, I really physically can be there, and I'm mentally doing a little bit better. So she chose to take the first shift, operate with integrity. Do any of you remember the movie Liar, Liar with Jim Carrey, where he couldn't tell a lie? And he was a lawyer, so what happened? He knew he'd lose the court case if he couldn't lie. He went to the bathroom and he beat himself up. He thought that maybe the judge would see what he looked like, thinking, oh, we've dismissed the trial, whatever. But the judge looked at him and said, can you proceed? And because he couldn't lie, Jim Carrey looked up at him and said, yes. Okay, that's kind of what it reminded me a little bit with Beth of going, why did you ask me that golden question? But sometimes we need to ask ourselves those golden questions of what we feel we are capable of and what we really know we can't, knowing our limits. So how did Beth get to this point? Because I told you it was a rocky road over the last year. So what she had done is we had taught some classes, and she had taken some 3x5 note cards, and she had written down a key coping skill on each card and 5 shifts on some others. So these were the same coping skills and shifts we had just taught her psychology class a few months prior. So she said that they helped. They didn't cure, but they helped her cope. And that each day was getting easier, and that the coping skills were coming more naturally. She said the shift was not just the information, because we can find information anywhere, right? But having mentors, counselors, teachers, and friends hold her accountable on using these coping skills. She chose to make the shift. Okay, to recap, I have just taught you the first shift, operate with total integrity. We've discussed acknowledging your mental health status along with statistics of the situation or planet it's in. We've also discussed what happens when you apply this principle. Now you get to live with integrity and knowing that you have taken the first step towards your positive mental health. Congratulations, you know the first shift. The second shift, never do anything that is not in your best interest. This means to be responsible for what you put into your body and mind. It means accountability for your actions, relationship choices, and choices in general. It means a change in mindset. Now this can be hard for some because it also means responsibility for choosing negative coping skills that are not in your best interest. For instance, this could be illegal drugs or losing a job because you're always late or don't show up. Either overeating or maybe you don't eat enough. Ouch. And reading social media with negative or demeaning messages. Belonging to depressing Facebook groups that only justify your choosing out of life. You can probably come up with a lot of your own as well. Okay, stay with me. I know I've hit a nerve with some of you. Now I promise you my total honesty from the very beginning, and I know you're ready for honesty or you wouldn't even still be here, and I'm giving it to you. The reality is this. It doesn't matter how good your medications are. There's no escaping cause and effect. This is called the mirror. If you want to attract positive people and situations into your life, then you had better live in the same positive space. In fact, at Facing the Giants, we say don't give up, live up. This means getting rid of your would-have, could-have, and should-haves. A lot of people live in the past and say, oh, I should have done this, or if only I could have done that, or if this didn't happen to me, I would have done this. We don't live in the past any longer. This point forward, you're going to focus on the present to create a better future. You're going to focus on what you can be in control of. So you attract the results of the effort you put in. The proof is in the pudding. So I'm going to teach you a fun story about Michael Phelps, and some of you may have heard this before, but he can teach us a lot about putting in effort and overcoming adversity. So you may not have known this, but Michael Phelps used to have a substance abuse problem. He was in trouble with the law. In court, he was given 18 months on probation in order to give lectures to school kids on the dangers of driving while intoxicated. Okay, what happened? Well, the result is he flipped the switch. He chose to make the shift. His coach Bowman used to say to him, are you going to wait until you win your first gold medal to have a good attitude? No, you're going to do it beforehand. You have to have the right mental attitude and go from there. You have to be an Olympic champion in attitude long before there's a gold medal around your neck. Okay, this attitude is based on an important formula that Bowman taught Phelps. E plus R equals O, or event plus response equals outcome. So think of something in your life that may have happened. How did you respond to it, and how did that affect the result that you had gotten? Maybe some of you are thinking something that's going on in your life right now. Now, at the 2008 Olympic Games, Phelps was racing in the final of the 200 meters butterfly. Moments after he was diving into the pool, his goggles began to leak. It made him blind. He couldn't see anything. At this moment, he asked himself his win question and realized there was no point in pitting himself. So instead, he accepted that the only thing he had control over was his performance. The result? He ended up winning the race and in world record time. Many didn't know if Phelps, due to his troubles, would even make it to the 2016 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. However, we all know how that turned out. By making the shift, Phelps became the most decorated athlete in Olympic history. American swimmer Michael Phelps finished his career with 23 gold medals and 28 medals overall. Okay, the stakes are high. You must stop doing what is not in your best interest. Phelps had to go to rehab. He had to give up negative habits. He had to live into integrity and accountability. You're made of the same stuff. We all have minds and power to choose activities in our best interest. Choose to put good things into our bodies and minds. You can choose to stay stuck and keep doing what you've always been doing. In fact, my kids always say, oh, Mom, when I say, you know what the definition of insanity is? To keep doing what you've always been doing, but expecting a different result. Or you can make the second shift and make choices that are in your best interest. Change your mindset and be accountable to yourself. When you get this right, you will not only feel better mentally, but you're going to feel better physically and spiritually. You will be able to think clearer, choose in instead of making excuses, and you will attract positive energy. Okay, to sum it up, we've discussed the second shift. Never do anything that isn't in your best interest. Michael Phelps made the shift from substance abuser to Olympic gold medalist. We talked about the mirror. You attract the results of the effort you put in. We talked about being responsible for your choices and relationship choices and no longer living in the woulda, coulda, and shoulda. We talked about Michael Phelps' winning formula of effort plus your response equals the outcome. Okay, shift 3. Use the secret weapon. Are you overwhelmed with all you can do? Do you ever wonder if you're going to have time or energy needed to work on your mental health? Let me introduce you to another client of ours named Stefan. Now, Stefan suffered from PTSD due to some childhood abuse. In fact, Stefan had anxiety so bad that he couldn't even come to our therapy appointments. He couldn't come in person. So we did something a little unconventional. We brought therapy to him. He needed a different way of learning, so we met that need. This was a blessing to him, and we are so blessed that we have the ability to do what works to meet various client needs. We live in an age of miracles. We live in an age of technology. So sometimes in life, we need a secret weapon, a different way of doing things, using technology to connect, to learn, to experience, and to grow. We needed to help Stefan connect with people and information. Does this even make sense to you? You self-medicate, whether it's good or bad. Some people have, good techniques like exercising or something like that. And some do bad things, whether they're cutting or something. And then you go see a doctor when they have an opening, when they can see you. And then maybe you go from therapist to therapist. Maybe you liked this therapist or you didn't get along with this one or it worked for a while that. And then there you get some medication. So the medication, maybe it takes 2 weeks to kick in, and then you have to test the dosage, and then up and down, or maybe try a new one. Do you see what I'm saying? This is called cross your fingers mental health. We live in an age of miracles. We have a new way of doing things. We need to do what works for you, when it works for you, where it works for you. You're going to add the how, and then you're going to get the why it works for you. In the age of technology, you can set the appointment. You choose the therapy. You choose your life. You're in charge of the response, and you're in charge of the outcome. You're in charge of the secret weapon. So I admonish you, use the secret weapon. That means your technology, your timing, your action, and you'll get your outcome. I love the story of the redwoods. You might have something similar where you live, where it's really tall, strong trees. They're just gorgeous and amazing. Now, these redwoods grow so tall, a lot of people wonder, why do they not topple over like in the wind or in a storm? How do they get to be so strong? So many people think they must have really, really, really deep roots, right? Well, normally that would be true of trees, but for the redwoods, their roots actually grow out to the side and they start wrapping around the roots of another tree. In essence, they're lifting each other up and supporting each other, and that's why they don't knock over. So how cool would it be for you to connect with people from all over the world, people just like you, who maybe have been through similar things and understand what you're going through? How cool to wrap our virtual arms around each other and lift each other up. We become stronger and more confident in who we are, where we're going, and our purpose in life. I admonish you to use the secret weapon. Don't be afraid to do something different or new, intriguing. How about something fun? Something that connects you to the outside world and you don't even have to leave your room. Do something for you. My choice with what we used with Stefan is webinars. Okay, to recap, we've discussed the third shift. We talked about the secret weapon of technology. We talked about Stefan's use of webinars and online courses, the redwood tree root connection, and we encouraged you to use technology. Shift 4, let go of negative habits. Are you getting too much sleep or maybe not enough? Do you know what eating healthy even is, and are you eating healthy? Have you changed your diet in any way lately? Are you exercising enough or maybe even too much? Do you sit for long periods of time? Do you suffer from any addictions? Are you on any medications and have you changed those up lately? Is your environment healthy? Are any of your relationships stressful? Or is your work stressful? It's good to know your baseline to know how your outside elements are going to affect your mental health. Here's something else that we do that we take from the outside elements and ingest into our bodies, and then it affects our mental health. It's going to be really surprising to you, already know. Did you know that alcohol and drugs were associated with 20 to 35% of suicides, 50% of spousal abuse, 80% of child abuse? And then you go over here and look at the strong mind-body connection again, where you can see where the body is affecting the mental as well. You might have digestive problems, and that can affect your mood or some behavior disorders, or low blood sugar, or maybe you have some vitamin deficiencies. Do you see how our minds and bodies are so connected? Mental illness can increase the risk for alcoholism or drug abuse because sometimes you're self-medicating. On the other hand, alcoholism can lead to significant anxiety and depression that may appear indistinguishable from mental illness. One disorder can be worse than the other, and you may be focusing on the wrong thing. So we're hoping that we're going to help you take care of both. You can do this. By letting go of negative habits, we take control of our lives and mental health. When we work on our own selves, that affects all aspects of our lives. We raise our work performance, our family relationships. We increase our community involvement. Our intellect goes up. Spirituality increases and social relationships increase. Your self-esteem is raised. Your mind is clearer. You're more pleasant to be around. It's almost like you become a magnet to invite people into your life. People want to be around you because they know you're happy being around yourself. It's time to be proud of yourself. You can do this. The best way to start feeling better about yourself is to notice the automatic mental and emotional habits that don't serve you well, and then find more self-compassionate or life-affirming ways to think and behave. With this concept, it's called conscious awareness, and it's where you have a daily focus on changing old habits. And neuroplasticity means we can have our brain grow. It means you're going to replace them with new habits, positive emotional pathways in your brain. Our brain possesses this capacity for neuroplasticity, which means that practicing new ways of thinking and behaving can actually change your brain's neurons and the pathways between them. Okay, if you're willing to face your negative habits, you can learn to be more cognitively flexible and to set healthy boundaries, thereby building a brain that's better wired for happiness and success, leading to positive relationships that demand mutual respect. Okay, what does this all mean? In a nutshell, your behavior can determine your happiness and success. You can rewire your brain with your behavior. Oh, the monkey trap. Albert Einstein said we can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. The natives in the islands used to catch monkeys by cutting a hole in the top of a coconut, and then they'd hollow it out. They'd fill the coconut with some sweet beans, and then they'd tie it to the base of the tree. Well, during the night, a monkey would come to the coconut shell. He'd reach his hand inside and grab the sweet beans, but then he'd hold them tight with his fist. Because his hand was in the fist, he couldn't pull it back out through the opening in the coconut. He wouldn't let go of the beans. So in the morning, the monkey was still trapped there, and all the natives had to do was come by and pick him up. In fact, some monkeys have been found holding on to molding food and won't let go. They have even found dead monkeys holding on to moldy beans. Okay, to recap, we've discussed the fourth shift, letting go of negative habits. We've discussed how poor habits are related to poor mental health and positive habits related to positive mental health. We discussed neuroplasticity and conscious awareness. We talked about monkey traps, and I'm going to ask you, are you willing to let go of negative habits or your moldy beans? Are you willing to do things differently? The fifth shift, invest in mentoring. This is called I Hope It Works This Time Mental Health. You see this guy here, he's having fun on Monday, and then by Tuesday he's back in bed again. It's like, what happened? Well, maybe he had some pain, so he wasn't so active. Feels pain in his joints, has some sleep problems, he's stressed out, so he takes medication. Maybe he's gaining weight because he's in bed a lot. Does that make sense? Takes off time work, he's in more pain. This is just this huge cycle. Maybe you two are caught in a cycle. Maybe you see a psychiatrist or a doctor. Maybe they'll give you some prescriptions, or maybe you self-medicate because you think you know best, right? Some of you may have been in a hospital, or you see a therapist or counselor. And then guess what? I'm going to tell you, for a time, the magic probably does happen. You probably find something that works for a while. You feel good. And then the magic begins to fade, to bring you right back to where you started, or even worse. When you invest in mentoring, you learn behavior modification, with combining with the mentoring gives you consistency and accountability. The old way is medication, or your mental health is in control of you. That's the cycle of failure. The new way is you're in control of your mental health. You're in control of your medication. Now I'm going to give you a disclaimer. I have a husband who's an ICU director, and we've discussed this thoroughly. Do not stop taking your medications. That's not the purpose of this webinar. In fact, we hope you found the perfect dosage and combination you need. Our goal is, if you're on medications, and you may not be, that's fine. You don't have to have medication to have good mental health. We're hoping that you'll learn a way to make the medications work well for you. or if you need to change them, you can figure that out with your doctor. The old way is you have tried everything. Okay, I wanted to have a little fun with this to explain to you what is a mentor. Well, if you've heard of Oprah Winfrey, she's had a mentor. In fact, she had a lady that made food for her when she lost weight. She had Dr. Phil, who's worked with her in her mindset to have this I can do and this winning attitude. Michael Jordan's a USA NBA player who used to play for the Chicago Bulls. Did you know he didn't even make his high school basketball team? But as he got older, he found a coach and mentors that believed in him. Look what happened to him, an amazing player. And many of you may know who Luke Skywalker is. I feel he had one of the best mentors of all in Yoda. So much wisdom and experience. We all need someone that believes in us and holds us accountable and has our best interests in mind. Harvey Penick was an old golf pro and coach, and he said this: I learned teaching from teachers. I learned golf from golfers. I learned winning from coaches. Everyone should have a mentor. It brings new things, new ideas, and accountability. There's new ideas in your head right now that would not have been there if you didn't make time for this webinar. So how much more powerful would it be if you had a mentor helping you every single day? In my mastermind, we have people creating breakthroughs every single day, alongside with people who have the skills and expertise. Everyone wins. Today, I promised you would learn a 5-shift strategy for overcoming anxiety, depression, bipolar, PTSD. We've given you what you need to win. Here's the 5 shifts. Operate with total integrity and accountability. Never do anything that isn't in your best interest. Use the secret weapon, our choices webinars. Letting go of negative behaviors and invest in mentoring. Now, you have a choice. I just taught you how to make a shift and do things differently, how to create miracles, how to take control of your mental health. You can stay just the way you are. You can keep going from appointment to appointment and expecting a different result. You can keep wondering, what if? You can stay stuck. And if you're completely happy with that scenario, then do that. But I believe you are here for a reason. You can take all this information and forget all about it. It's just another day. Just another webinar, just another sales pitch, just one more thing that you've tried that doesn't work. Or you can make a decision to take control, take action, and take back your life. You know why you came to this webinar. You know why you listened to the end. I believe it's because you know you've tried everything else and it doesn't work. So you've got a choice. You can continue to struggle for the next year, the next 5 years, or life, or even until you collapse. Or do you want this to be the time, the day, the year you finally take control of your life and create accountability, faith, trust, and positive mental health? Today is the day to take back your freedom, your joy, and passion for life. If that's what you want, then here's what I've got for you. Here's how I can help. My team and I have set aside some time in the next week to speak with you personally about how you can apply these ideas to your life starting today. I just gave you the 5 broad shifts. The truth is, everyone's life is different. Every day is different. Every situation is different. You need to know how to apply these shifts to your life, your relationships, your goals, your happiness. So if that's what you want to do, we're more than happy to get on the phone with you to explain the next steps to create this for you. The cost of this breakthrough phone call is free. But here's the catch. This is not for everybody. Who is this for? You must be absolutely committed to creating and working towards mental health goals with total integrity and not choosing out or making excuses. You must be ready to take action and responsibility. You must have a desire to take control of your life. If you are wishy-washy or just looking for attention for your sob story, this is not for you. If you consistently blame others and don't believe that you can create solutions, this is not for you either. If you want medications alone to solve all your problems without taking accountability or practicing behavior modification, this is not for you. Okay, why are we doing this? On the call, we'll help you get total clarity about exactly what you want your life to look like and the steps you should take to achieve your goals. If you want us to help you, And if we think it's a good fit, we may invite you to become one of our new clients we'll take on this month. If we work together, we'll put you through the same program Beth and Stefan went through, the same program that taught them how to get unstuck. The curriculum is designed to teach you how to combine behavior therapy, mentoring to create connections, accountability, and take control of your life and mental health. In fact, we'll be expecting you to know how to use coping skills to create those positive brain connections within as little as 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, I'm going to get very real with you. Before I show you the link and how to sign up, I need to explain something. If you are part of our Facebook tribe, it is called the Healer's Art Support Alliance for Anxiety, Depression, Bipolar, PTSD. You can see we are at 500 plus in our membership. We also have a page, Healer's Art page, with over 300. That's over 800 people wanting into this program. We are just expanding and we're going to open up 20 spots this month. I would love for it to be you. We have had a blast getting to know people from all over the world. So if you think you're ready, and we know you are, here's the link. If you see a link on your computer, go ahead and click it at this time. If you do not see that link or it doesn't show up for you, just type into your search engine facethegiants.com/apply. Now, when you go there, we would love to have this breakthrough phone call with you. You need to know that when you get these things right, it trickles down into all aspects of life. Your relationships, your work, your family, community, intellect, spiritual, physical health, and even your income. You are going to change the rest of your life. You're taking that step. And we want to be like those redwood trees and wrap our arms around each other and share our knowledge and experiences and find what works for you. We will become your new tribe. We will become your family. And we are excited to see that. I thank you for your time today. Go ahead and type it in, facethegiants.com/apply, or just click that link and take a chance on your life. And we're excited to talk with you, and hopefully that will be soon. Thanks for joining us today, and have a great, and remember, at Facing the Giants, our motto is don't give up, live up. Thanks again, and talk to you soon.